Sorry guys, forgot to turn my mic on. How are we all? Welcome back to Football Forum. Hope we're doing well. Good to see a few people in here watching, ready to go. That's what we'd like to see. How's everyone's week been so far? Eddie McCullum Senior firing straight off. Eddie McCullum Senior, 6-0 win. Does that save him from the sack? You'd be crazy to say no, wouldn't you, Eddie? Thanks for liking the stream, mate. Good to see you back in here. Look, I'll be the first to admit I was wrong so far. I've been wrong about Postecoglou. I thought maybe Celtic was too big a club for him. Not so much a slander on him as just a sort of recognition of how big a club Celtic is. But can't argue with the results so far. He's gone there and done a fantastic job. And I'm sure you can tell us, Eddie, that Celtic fans will be very happy so far with what he's achieved. So. But yeah, good to see you, mate. Hope you're having a good night. So good to see people in here already. Jack Lockwood, like the stream. Good to see you again, mate. It's good to see your face back in here. How you doing, buddy? How was your day? So we've got an interesting show. We got obviously a preview of some of the games coming up this weekend. Not just Premier League. I'll touch on a few other games as well. Basically games that I know a few of you guys are following, so I'll touch on them. And like I've said before, if there's a certain league or games you want me to cover, let me know in the chat. Let me know what you want to see me covering, and I'll do what I can. Obviously, it's just me at the moment, so I can't cover everything, but the main thing I want to cover is what you guys that are in here regularly want to see. That makes the most sense. So I make the effort to cover the stuff that, for example, I know Eddie wants to see, I know Chris wants to see. I'll talk about their teams because they're always in here, so I'll make that effort for them. So if there's something you want to see covered, let me know what it is. Let me know who your team is, whatever it is, and I'll make an effort to get around to including them in the show as well. Jack Lockwood, yeah, good mate, tired. Yeah, me too, mate. I'm absolutely knackered tonight, so if there's a lot of mistakes and me dribbling over myself, please forgive me. I am absolutely knackered. So anyway, moving on. Yeah, so we've got a preview of some games coming up. We've got our dream team, which for this week was the all-time Spanish team. Eddie McCullum Senior talking about Arsenal, mate. Of course, we'll definitely be talking about Arsenal. Obviously, Premier League I talk about the most because that's what I've got the most knowledge on. 100% we'll be getting around to Arsenal. So we've got our dream team, which for this week the dream team theme was the all-time Spanish 11. So I've got mine ready to go. When I gave that one out, I didn't realise how difficult it was going to be. It was one of them things, I sort of said it off the cuff, and then when I've started sitting down, writing it down, thinking about it, going through players, I'm like, then I've forgotten him and blah, 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 and going back through it all over again. And you can't get everybody on a team of 11, so it's tough, but we'll put that up. We'll let you guys give your feedback, let me know what you think, who you might have in there, all that good stuff. So we've got our dream team thing of the week. A bit of a chat about the current situation evolving around the Premier League and now the Championship as well, with clubs not letting players go on international duty if those players are going to red listed countries for the UK. So we'll have a bit of a chat about that, see what you guys think. Chat to you guys. So let's get cracking. Don't forget, if you are in here, guys, please say hello. It's nice to know who's watching. I can see there's a few people watching. I've got 2 talking. I've got more than that watching. So please say hello, like the stream, just interact so I know who's there. Even if you're not that knowledgeable about football, pop in and say hello. It's nice just to talk, especially with lockdown at the moment and limited social opportunities. It's good just to catch up with you guys as well. So even if you're not here for football, you're just here for the social side of it, whatever it is, jump in chat, say hello. More than happy to have a chat. It's just good to see you guys here. So, cracking on. So obviously, Eddie, as requested, the first game this weekend, City versus Arsenal. What a cracker. Obviously at City. So for City, Phil Foden's still out with an injury. It doesn't look like he'll be back before the international break now. So I'd say Foden will be out until at least after the international break. Kevin De Bruyne is also not supposed to be fully fit, so he'll probably start from the bench as well for City. 2 big outs for them, especially when they're criticism over the first 2 weeks has been in attack. So 2 big misses for City. But having said that, they did seem to have it clicking against Norwich and have worked it out. It's hard to say if that's they've worked it out or it's just they play well against Norwich, because you look at that game historically, especially over the recent decade, City smash Norwich consistently. So it could be that, but they did look a much better team against Norwich than what they did in that first week against Tottenham. As for Arsenal, Ben White still ruled out with COVID. Thomas Partey and Alexander Lacazette also ruled out with injuries. And Odegaard and Ramsdale are registered, but they're unlikely to start, so they'll probably come in off the bench. Promising news for Arsenal is Aubameyang did start and play and score a hat-trick, I believe, in their EFL tie this week, in the midweek. So that'll be a big boost for Arsenal. I'm sure that will go some way towards hopefully making their fans feel a little bit better about the game. So Aubameyang probably will start. I do think, based on recent form though, if I look back to how Arsenal played last week against Chelsea, for example, I don't think a change of striker for Arsenal changes that result, because I don't think they created enough. They sort of sat off and let us play. They almost looked scared. They almost looked scared of us. They let us dictate the play. We just had all of our own way, and I can't help but think it's going to be a little bit of the same against City as well. So does Aubameyang make a difference? 100% if they can get the ball up that end of the pitch, but it's only going to make a difference if they dig down, put on a fight, and get the ball up that end. If they don't, and it's more the same as last week, I don't think it'll go well. For me, I think City at home with their fans, I think they win 2-0. I think it's a 2-0 win. I just don't think Arsenal so far have shown enough fight to say that they're ready for a game like this. So it wouldn't be good for them, obviously. Losing their first 3 games on the bounce would be shocking. And Arteta will come under even heavier fire. But I don't see Arsenal coming at that one too well. I'd love to hear what you guys reckon, though. Eddie McCullum, Rangers in COVID. Gerrard didn't travel with 6 key players. No goalkeeper playing 17-year-old. All good news for Celtic, mate. All good news for Celtic. And we'll get onto that game a little bit later, Eddie. I've got some stuff on that. Peter Nassis, Oi gents. Hey, Peter. How you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. How's your week been? So City Arsenal, I've got City 2-0. But let me know what you reckon. Next game, Newcastle, Southampton. Southampton have come into the start of the season with very few injuries. They've got a pretty much fit and ready to go squad. Will Smallbone is their only injury. And I'm sure they're not losing sleep over it. He's a good player, but they're not losing sleep over it. Newcastle are also going to be largely unaffected from the previous 2 weeks. No real changes in terms of injuries there. And given both of these teams have conceded 10 goals between them in the first 2 weeks, I can see more goals here. I can't see there being clean sheets. So it should be a decent game in terms of there should be goals. Newcastle are an energetic team. They just don't really have that finishing product. Southampton, I thought, really played well against United last weekend. They lifted and played much better than what they did in week 1. So they'll be full of confidence from that, especially given how strong that United team was week 1. I know there was a lot of changes, but they'll still take a lot of confidence out of that result from United. And so, yeah, I think it's an interesting game. Newcastle have obviously lost their opening 2 games. Like I said, they've got a lot of energy. They're actually quite exciting to watch. They just don't have that finishing product. And for that reason, I think, based on last week's performance and the fact that Che Adams and Armstrong up top looked good together, I think that Southampton will win this one. I'm going to go for 2-0 Southampton on that one. Peter, being okay, mate? Just looking forward to football on the weekend. Aren't we all, mate? Aren't we all? I am keen. Obviously a massive, massive game for my boys. But yeah, it should be a good weekend. Kane Sherson, good to see you in here, mate. I hope you're doing well. Still annoyed we haven't played Varane yet. I would imagine, Kane, I would imagine this weekend he should start. I think given the result against Southampton for United, I think Ole will put out what he deems to be the best team, not take any risks, um, and I think that I think that Varane will be included in that. So we'll get to your game soon. Norwich Leicester. Now, both teams will come into this one again largely unchanged from injuries from last week. And both really sort of need to get themselves back on track a bit, don't they? So, obviously, Leicester 4-1 loss to West Ham. That West Ham team is looking good. Don't get me wrong. They are looking good, but for a team of Leicester's stature, to come out and lose 4-1 to West Ham, they would not have been expecting that. And yeah, Norwich have obviously lost their first 2 games of the season as well. In Norwich's defence, though, those first 2 games were against City and Liverpool. And I don't think any club in the league would look forward to a draw where your first 2 games are City and Liverpool. So in Norwich's defence, I thought they looked a lot more solid against Liverpool on the weekend than what they did against City. So I think there's some promise there for Norwich. Again, they're playing 2 of the probably favourites to win the league in the first 2 weeks. So I don't think it's all doom and gloom for Norwich. I think I've said it before. I think they've got a squad that can keep them safe from relegation. However, do I think they've got the quality to beat Leicester? I don't. I don't think they do. I think Leicester should have the quality to see Norwich off. It's a tough one to call. I'm going to say home fans are going to play a part here, and I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think a lot of people would have Leicester to win it, but Leicester got properly spanked on the weekend. They got properly spanked, and Norwich at home will fancy their chances. It'll be a lively game. I think, like I said, I think a 2-2 draw. Yeah, it's a hard one to call, that one. We'll see what plays out. Kane Shearson, hopefully he does. Just worry we might have another Van der Beek situation. Yeah, but you got to go with McFred, don't you? I thought United fans liked the McFred combination, don't you? Dear. Villa Brentford. All right, so Brentford will come into this one without Mads Bech Sorensen. He got injured against Forest Green in their EFL game midweek. Ethan Pinnock, who's like a very key defender for Brentford, he also came off injured in that game with an ankle injury. However, it's since been said that he's fit and he'll start against Villa, so that'll be a big win for Brentford. They'll be happy he's in there. Villa also come into this one, no real new injury concerns, and they've also got a young gun emerging in Cameron Archer. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this. 19-year-old from Villa, made his senior debut midweek in the EFL and banged in a hat-trick. So maybe Villa will look to give him some minutes off the bench and just see what he can show, possibly. But for a 19-year-old senior debut banging in a hat-trick, they won't be complaining. That's a good result for them. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Neither team, I mean, Brentford will be absolutely flying. Villa, not so much. They haven't been terrible, but they haven't been good. I do think Villa will have the experience to come out of this one 1-0 winners. I think this will be Brentford's first loss for the season. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anthony Morton, nope. Hey mate, how you doing? Good to see you. How have you been, man? So that's a no on McFred then. Yeah, so I'm going to go Villa 1-0. And then Brighton Everton. So another game where there shouldn't really be any injury dramas. It's sort of hard to say. So when I did the stream like on the Friday, I think it was last week, and I did the preview on the Friday, there was a lot more team news. A lot of the sort of late team news comes out over the next 24 hours. So it's really hard to say. I've got some sort of news here and there, but there's room for this to change as well. So don't take it as gospel. But yeah, so Brighton, Everton, both teams at the moment look like they're unchanged. There's no real stories coming out about any serious injury problems that weren't already there. So we'll see how that plays out. Brighton are flying at the moment, unexpectedly. I don't think anyone expected them to get off 2 games, 2 wins, but they're doing well. And Everton, they're not off to a bad start. They probably would have hoped for better. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, Brighton are at home. Home fans are clearly making a difference to games over the last 2 weeks. And they are on fire at the moment, but I think Everton will put them to the sword. I think Everton will come out and win this one 3-0. It looks like a game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, they're the sort of players that on their day they can punish, and I think they will. So, Christopher FC, hello. Hey mate, how are you? Good to see you back in here. If Mr. Natsis is still around, your mate was in here too, mate. So, who we got next? Hammers versus Palace. So, another big win on the cards, I reckon, here. Obviously, West Ham are the story of the league at the moment. 2 games, 2 wins, 8 goals scored. So two cracking games. And to come out and smash Leicester 4-1 is a bit of a statement. Richard Randall, if he's in, I don't know if he's in yet. He did sort of say that he had West Ham for top 4, and based on the first 2 weeks, he could be onto something. I thought he was a bit crazy, but they're looking all right. I wasn't expecting them to come out and smash Leicester 4-1, that's for sure. So I reckon another big win on the cards here. Palace aren't looking good. There's no real injury concerns around these 2 teams at the moment. Palace, like I said, they're looking bang average at best. They're not exactly setting the world alight. West Ham, however, are. And for that reason, I reckon West Ham 3-0. And I'm even going to say a Mikel Antonio hat-trick, because that man is on fire. It's a matter of time before he bangs a hat-trick in. But yeah, Hammers 3-0. I don't think Palace have really shown anything to say that they're going to stand up to what's been an insane attack on West Ham's behalf. So 3-0. Who's this? Christopher, thoughts on Zaha? Lazy. It looks like he's having a bit of a tantrum because he hasn't had a big money move. He's not the player he was a couple of years ago. That's for sure. Whether there's something going on behind the scenes or whatever, we can only speculate about that stuff. I don't know. But it's not the Wilfried Zaha that had the world trying to get his signature. And I think if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's not going to get a move to a big club. No one's going to, at the moment. And you sort of, if you look at who people are calling title favourites, which 2 weeks in means nothing, but if you look at United, Chelsea, City, Liverpool, does Zaha get into any of those teams? I don't think he does. I don't think he gets into any of those squads. At his best, can he? Yeah, 100%. But he hasn't been at his best for a while. And, yeah, I don't know. He's not impressing. He's not impressing at all. And I think this is another game where it's going to look like he gets exposed. West Ham are going to run around and run a riot. And we'll see very little from Zaha again. I hope I'm wrong, because at his best, he's sensational to watch. I enjoy watching him when he's playing well. But I'm not holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath because he'll be holding on for a long time. Yeah, so I don't think Zaha is impressing anyone at the moment. I'd be very surprised. Christopher, Antonio hat-trick would be nice for fantasy. If you do not have Mikel Antonio in your fantasy team at the moment, what are you thinking? That man is just banging out points. Christopher, yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's not impressive. 2 seconds, I just got a message. Sorry, guys. Yeah, sorry. So, Hill Severi's liked the stream. Football royalty in the house. Hello, Hill. How are you, mate? Good to see you in here. Thanks for coming along. Yeah, guys, if you are in the chat and you haven't said hello, like if you're in the stream and you haven't said hello, jump in chat, say hello, or even just like the stream so I know you're here and I can say hello to you. And like I said before, even if it's not football related, I'm happy to have a chat. We've got limited social options at the moment. This is like my social outlet. Let it be your social outlet too. Even if you're chatting to other people in the chat and not me, I don't mind. jump in, have a chat, keep it interactive. That's the main thing with this stream. The more interactive it is, the more fun we have. And I think the guys that are in the chat here, I think they would agree with that as well. So please interact. That's what makes this fun. So yeah, so moving on. We've done Hammers Palace. Next game. This is the big game for the weekend. I think most people would agree. Liverpool Chelsea. Absolute cracking game. Very early on. What's this? Third week of the Premier League. As I said at the start of the year, Liverpool are my favourites for the title. Chelsea are right up in that discussion at the moment, and it's going to be a cracker. I think it's going to be really exciting. It's already I'm already nervous about it, so nerve-wracking for sure. And I'm sure fans from both sides are going to be nervous about it. But yeah, it's the big game. It's a big game in the Premier League this weekend, so it's going to be a good one. Jack Lockwood, Liverpool 3-0. That's a big one. Christopher, so nervous. There you go, a Liverpool fan, nervous. So Liverpool pretty much at full strength. The only question mark is still around Robertson, whether he'll be back or not. So we'll see how that plays out. Chelsea also, same sort of situation, coming with most of the squad. Pulisic at the moment is still missing through COVID, but apart from that, we should have everybody available. I'm going to say at Anfield, with that crowd behind Liverpool, I think they've got enough to get it done. I think it'll be close. I think if you look at our defensive record since Tuchel's taken over, we're very hard to score against. We're very solid. So I think Liverpool will win, but I think it'll be tight. I think maybe 2-1. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Liverpool win. Tony, is Ronaldo to City fake news or a prospect? Honestly, mate, I haven't seen anything official from anyone. I think fake news. I don't think Ronaldo would sign for City. I don't think he'd do it. But I don't know him that well personally, so I'd be very, very surprised if Ronaldo signed for City. I really would. I mean, there's a lot of rumours about him going to PSG as well. He sort of seemed to have come out and shut those rumours down without really shutting them down. But I don't think Ronaldo goes to City. I'd be very, very, very surprised. But if I see anything official, Tony, I'll let you know for sure. Yeah, so I'm going to go Liverpool 2-1, unfortunately. And I'm still going to watch it even though I'm expecting to lose. Real fans. Burnley Leeds. So Burnley have actually got a win under their belt. Anthony Morton, thank God. Yeah, I don't think he would, Tony. I'd be baffled. I really would be baffled if he did. Yeah. I mean, City have got the money to make it happen. We can't deny that, but we'll see. Yeah, Burnley Leeds. Burnley did get a win midweek in their EFL Cup match against Newcastle. So against Premier League opposition. It went to penalties. But that'll give them some optimism coming into this game. Leeds, not exactly flying, but they are showing improvement from week one. Calvin Phillips, his fitness is improving improving over the weeks. So I think he'll be A, starting, and B, pretty much back to his best, which is massive for Leeds. I think Burnley's Premier League form's not been fantastic. They've scraped to a win against Newcastle, who I still think are bottom of the rack when it comes to Premier League. I think they get demoted. So I'm going to go with Leeds 1-0. I'm going to go with Leeds 1-0. We'll see what plays out. Spurs Watford. I think this is a difficult game to call. I thought Watford surprised me in week one with how well they played. They won well. They played well. Week two, not so good. Not so good at all. And that's sort of what I was saying. For those of you that were in my first stream, that's sort of what I was saying with Watford. I think they're the great unknown. They're very hard to predict. So it's going to be a tough one. Spurs do have Harry Kane has confirmed he's staying at Tottenham for the summer. I should highlight that in his tweet that he released. He will be staying for the summer. Hang on, give me 2 seconds. I'll see if I can find that tweet and put it up for you. And then I'll go on to say what I think about this. So, where is it? Show me your tweet, Harry Kane. Where is it? Sorry guys, bear with me. I should have had this ready beforehand, but I had a big day at work, and like I said, I'm trying to cover a lot by myself, so it's not easy, but where has it gone? I can't find it, but anyway, basically his tweet literally said that he's committed to Tottenham for the summer, which to me suggests that the move may be going ahead to January. I think that's when he'll go. Because for me, if he was looking to stay for the season, he'd just say, I'm here for the year, I'm here for the season, I'm committed for the season. He hasn't said that. He said for the summer. So to me, it still says his heart's set on a move. And like I said, when you watch that last game Tottenham played last season, his last game at home, he's walking around clapping and crying and emotional. They didn't win anything, so to me that was like, oh, this is my last game, I'm on the move, and that hasn't turned out to be the case. I think he still wants to move. I think Daniel Levy's strong-armed him into staying, so I think he'll be looking to push out in January. However, Harry Kane, absolute beast. I think he'll start the game. I think he'll play well. And I think Tottenham will come out and win this one 2-0. Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, deadly combination. And regardless of whether Harry wants to be there or not, it's still in his best interest to play good football and keep the interest in him as high as possible to force that move through in January. That's my opinion. Kane Sherson, apparently they offered him like 15 mil or something by memory. Who was that, Kane? Sorry. Do you want to elaborate on that? Sorry, mate. Tony, thank God. Tony, just send your win, draw, win multis through. I don't endorse gambling, Tony. I don't gamble myself. I very rarely chuck a cheeky $5 bet on, but I haven't been on a betting site in well over a year. It just isn't something that appeals to me. But yeah, I'm giving you my prediction on who I think wins. That's about as good as I can do. Kane Sherson, Ronaldo, as in 15 mil a year, Kane. Is that what you're talking about for his salary? Because that seems low for Ronaldo. If that's what they've offered him, I can see why he's not going anywhere. Tony, fair call, mate. Kane Sherson, something like that. Let me look it up. Yeah, I don't think it'd be 15 million a year, Kane, because that would be 280 grand or 290 grand a week or something, which sounds like good money, but not for Ronaldo. That's not Ronaldo money. So I'd be very surprised. I think it would be a fair bit more than that. You'd be looking at 30, 40 million easy, I would imagine. Christopher, I'll be very surprised if Ronaldo goes. Me too, mate. I think he'll stay at Juventus for the year. And if he does go, I don't think he'll go to City. I really don't. And the last game we have is United Wolves. So I've got a few United fans in here, so we should cover this one. As I was saying before, I think based on the way United played against Southampton, Ollie immediately under a bit of stick for sort of being typical Ollie in that making changes he probably doesn't need to make against what he would deem to be a weaker team, and it's come back to bite him. Same old story, really. I'm sure for United fans, they're a bit over that one. I think he'll come out and put out the strongest team he's got. So I think Martial probably is going to miss out again. I think Varane comes in. Unfortunately, because I think Lindelof's played very well the last 2 weeks. I mean, again, happy to hear what you guys reckon, but I think Lindelof's been playing really well, and it's a bit unfortunate for him that he's got Raphael Varane sitting over his shoulder, especially when he's been playing as well as he has. But I can't see them dumping Maguire. Whether or not I agree with that's a different matter, but I can't see them dumping Maguire. I think Lindelof will be the one that makes way. I think Greenwood goes back up top, and yeah, I think United put out a team to go out there and smash. So with that in mind, Wolves, obviously they're playing okay. They're not setting the world on fire. Are they good enough to stop United at their best? I don't think they are. I think it's a 2-0, 3-0 United win. And I think United to come out in this game looking to make a statement, because, as I said, for me, they were second favourites for the title this year. That's not over because they've had one bad game, not by a long shot. Every team's going to have bad games. So, yeah, I still have them highly rated as a chance for the title, and I think they'll come out and make a statement this week. Kane Sherson, it's like 14, 15 mil per season, according to apparently from Gianluca Di Marzio. I think Gianluca might have been on the puff because 14, 15 million a year, Ronaldo ain't doing that. It's not going to happen. Do you reckon Man U could play a back five and have Lindelof as like a CDM centre back? I don't think you need to, Kane. I really don't think you need to. Not only do I don't think you need to, I don't think you have the fullback / wing backs to do that. Wan-Bissaka, yeah, sure. And Luke Shaw can get forward and attack, and he's good in that. And I personally think both of those are better in a back four. I personally think Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka are better in a back four. Luke Shaw showed he can play in a back five. He's done it for England, and he's done well for England, very, very well. But you're not conceding a lot of goals. There's not really a reason for you to go to a back five. I mean, if you look at Chelsea playing that back five, we played that back five because we were conceding a lot of goals before Tuchel came in. We were conceding a lot of goals. And we've changed to the back five, and we're conceding hardly any now. So we made that change because we had to. I don't think you have to. Your problem lies more in your midfield, depth outside of Pogba and Fred. Fred, I just said that. See, I told you guys I was tired. I said I was tired, so don't hold that one on me, all right? What I meant to say was outside of Pogba and Fernandes, United have a bit of a problem in depth in midfield. That's where they fall a bit short. That's why I think Liverpool are favourites, United second. Yeah, especially when, as you guys pointed out, Tony swear word. I did say I was tired, man. I said I was tired. Pogba and Fernandes is obviously what we were talking about there. But yeah, and another. Do you know what? I know United drew against Southampton, but I was actually happier with Pogba's game as, like, from a coaching point of view, watching his game, I was happier with him against Southampton than what I was with him in week one. Obviously, he played very well in week one, got 4 assists. I understand that, but I'm talking about what he did outside of that. The effort over the 90 minutes, for me, was more complete. And another good assist. But yeah, over the 90 minutes, he looked like he was working harder. He looked like he was trying to be involved more. And yeah, I actually thought he played, as a complete game, I thought he played better in week 2. But anyway, Tony, 100%, he didn't seem as lazy off the ball. Yeah, 100% my point. Whereas week 1, he looked like he was doing bugger all, pulled out 4 assists. 4 quality assists, absolute quality assists. There's no denying it, but what he did around that, not a whole lot. So, and I think honestly, if he had the team from week 1 around him in week 2, he would have ended up with another 2-3 assists, no problems at all. I don't think the way he was playing is the reason he didn't get that many assists again. I think Martial was absolutely awful, gave you absolutely nothing up top. Shocking. How he stayed on as long as he did, I don't know. and that plays a big part. That plays a big part. I mean, you look at the Chelsea-Arsenal game and the impact Lukaku immediately had in that we could play the ball into his feet, he holds the ball up, and then Mason Mount can do what he's good at and start making those runs in behind, drawing defenders in. That lets Reece James overlap. It all comes off of that. If you're playing like one striker, it all comes off what that striker does for you. And yeah, Martial, he didn't do anything for you. He done absolutely nothing. Christopher FC, I agree with that. Week 1, his work rate wasn't great. No, I mean, all it done was show off what his quality is. He put in what seemed like minimal effort, bangs out 4 assists. Like, quality player to be doing that in the Premier League. But those players annoy me. Because you're like, imagine what you would do if you applied yourself 100%. It does your head in. Christopher, yeah, Lukaku was so good. He was. It was like watching Drogba back at the bridge. It was like watching Drogba back at Chelsea, especially against Arsenal. Drogba loved playing against Arsenal, and it was like seeing that again. Just bullying defenders, pulling them into him, setting the wide flat players free, pretty much, to do what they wanted. And like I said, my only criticism with that game, I actually came away from that game feeling unsatisfied because I felt like after we scored 2 goals, we took our foot off and we sort of let Arsenal off a bit. We controlled the game. We didn't look like we were in danger of losing the game at any point or even losing the lead at any point. But I really felt like we didn't really get out of second gear, especially after we scored the second goal. It was just sort of like, cool, we can just cruise this now. And we did. But I want to see that. I want to see that killer instinct. That's what I want to see. Lynn Casimo's like the stream. Hey, Lynn, how you doing? How's the family? Good to see you in here. I'm sure Nick's doing your head in, being at home all the time. But yeah, so for me, I think United would win that game quite well. Now, a couple of other games outside of the Premier League. We've got Rangers Celtic. What a derby. Now, I'll be honest, Eddie's taken a little bit of the shine off this one for me because he has pointed out Rangers aren't allowing away fans to this game. Shocking. So for those of you that haven't heard that, for the Rangers Celtic, the Old Firm derby, one of the biggest derbies in the history of football, no away fans. None. All Rangers. Shocking. So for me, that'll kill the atmosphere a little bit. I mean, it'll still be jumping, but it's sort of it's taken the glint off it a little bit for me. I'll still watch it. I'm still keen on it. So Rangers have got a whole bunch of problems. As Eddie was pointing out earlier, for those of you that didn't see it, there's players that are like COVID. There's players out. It's not looking good for Rangers. They haven't got their keeper. I honestly think Celtic can go out there and touch them up 3-0, 4-0. Based on what I've seen from Tinu so far, based on what Eddie's told me, if Rangers pull something off here, whole days, I just don't think it's going to go too well. But seriously, if there's ever a game in the Scottish Premier League that's worth watching, Rangers Celtic, that's the one. That is the one. Get on that. That's going to be some cracking football, and we'll be talking about it in the wrap up next week. So, and then in the Championship, for another one of our regular viewers, Mr. Gomez, Derby versus Forest in the Championship, another cracking derby. So for those of you that don't know as much about the Championship, Derby Forest is probably one of the biggest rivalries in the Championship. It's very local. It gets very heated. The locals are very, very passionate about it. And so a little bit of a backstory. My mum's side of the family are pretty much all Forest fans. They're from that Nottingham area. And yeah, so they're pretty much all Forest. Chris Gomez is Derby. So we have a bit of fun with the banter about that. And Derby are off to a decent start so far this season. Forest aren't. So Derby will come into this one favourites. They'll come into this one confident. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I think Derby, based on what we've seen so far from the season in the Championship, I think Derby will win. But it's the sort of game that's hard to say because Forest are always going to step up against Derby, and same vice versa. Even if Forest are doing well and Derby are struggling, it's the sort of game they come in and they step up for each other. They really do. So It's going to be cracking. It's going to be high energy, and that one, home and away fans. So you know the bands is going to be flying around the stadium. It's going to be buzzing. It's going to be buzzing. I'm really looking forward to that game. So yeah, so there's another couple of crackers there. If there's any other games around Europe I'm missing, shout it out in chat. If there's anything else we should watch, let us know. I do need to go to the toilet real quick, so I'm going to go on to the Be Right Back, and I'll talk to you in a minute. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, alright? I'll be back. Alrighty, sorry about that. Hopefully you guys are still about. Quick toilet break. I'll have a quick drink while I'm at it too. Here we go. So yeah, a couple of cracking games there to look forward to. Now, in other news, so for the, I don't know who hasn't heard about this so far. I'm sure most of you would have heard something about it. But there's a bit of drama breaking out over international football. So obviously coming up, we have the international break for World Cup qualifiers. And the Premier League came out and announced that pretty much all the clubs in the Premier League in unison have announced that they will not be releasing players to go onto international duty if they are going to a red listed country from the UK. So the UK has a list of countries that are deemed too dangerous due to COVID for people to travel to. And for those reasons, the Premier League have come out and said that they're not releasing players for international duties for any of those countries listed. So there's a bit of ruckus about this. There's people in uproar saying that it should be up to the players if they want to take that risk to represent their country. The Championship have then come out and backed that call. And said that they will be doing the same. So Premier League and Championship won't be releasing players for international duty if those players are playing in red listed countries. So like I said, there's a big uproar about it. Obviously, some countries are more affected than others. I think Brazil, for example, are getting absolutely smashed by this rule. If you look at like the likes of Egypt, two of probably their best players in El Neni and Mohamed Salah won't be released to play for them. So it's a tough one. It is tough for the international teams. It's tough for the fans of those international teams. I'm sure it's real tough on the players as well to know that they're not even being given that option. They just can't go. However, my stance on this, at the end of the day, these Premier League clubs and Championship clubs, they're paying these players wages. They pay these players to represent the club first and foremost, and they're paying these guys a lot of money. We're not talking about $28 an hour here. We're talking serious money. And I think at the end of the day, it is a business. And I know people don't like that side of football, but it is a business. And I think the clubs have every right to protect their investment when that investment is multi-million dollars invested in these players. I think the clubs then have the right to turn around and say, we don't want to take the risk of you going overseas, getting COVID, and not being able to play, especially the more important players. Liverpool wouldn't be happy without Salah. Chelsea wouldn't be happy without Thiago Silva. I can go on. But the point is, the clubs are paying these players serious money. They're well within their rights to protect that investment, in my opinion. Does it suck? Yeah, it does. It does suck. It's everyone's dream to grow up and play for their country and all that sort of stuff. And from that side of things, it's not ideal. It's not ideal, I understand. But we're not in a normal climate right now. In normal circumstances, the Premier League will just let it go. As they always have, go play for your country, no dramas. But there's extenuating circumstances. There's a significant risk around this. And even if you go and don't get COVID, you still have to come back, isolate for 2 weeks. So you're looking at missing, with cup games and stuff, you're looking at missing 5, 6, 7 games, depending on the club you're at and what competitions you're in. It's a lot of games. It's a lot of games to miss, and it puts extra stress on the other players around you, physically, in terms of like injury risk and stuff like that. So that you can't rotate as well if half your team's out getting rested because of COVID. So, yeah, for me, personally, I understand the decision from the Premier League. I agree with it. I think they're well within their rights to do that. And to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of international breaks anyway. I know some people would shoot me for this. I'm not a fan of international breaks. I don't like them, especially so early on in the Premier League season. Like, can we just let the teams get a run on first, at least? Let's get a run of form going. We get 2, 3, 4 weeks in, bang, international break. It does my head in. I don't enjoy the international break, especially the international friendlies. For me, is the worst reason to interrupt the Premier League season for an international friendly. No one cares, man. No one cares. I'm a massive England fan. I love my country. I watch as many games as I possibly can. I say 90 to 95% of the games I watch. But the friendlies, I still get up and watch them. But why are we interrupting Premier League season, whatever it might be, for friggin' international friendlies? You're playing for nothing. There's no reason for it. So I'm not a fan of the international break as it is. I understand it's for World Cup qualifiers this time. I get that. But for me, I'd rather not have that interruption, especially this early in the season. So, yeah, in short, I personally feel the Premier League clubs are making the right move here. If anything, that it's going to benefit the competition in the long term in terms of the Premier League, because it's just going to give the clubs that little bit longer to work together and stuff like that. So, yeah, but interested in hearing your thoughts. So, for those of you that just joined, recap, Premier League Championship, they've announced that they will not be releasing players for international duties if those players are playing in red-listed countries in the UK. So, yeah, there's a big uproar about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, guys. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I just don't think there's any need for it. Christopher, England are finishing these qualifiers. Yeah, but even outside of England, mate, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like I said to you, like as a Liverpool fan, would you be happy Mo Salah goes and plays for Egypt, comes back, has to isolate for 2 weeks because of COVID concerns? That's if he doesn't get COVID. Then he could be gone for however knows long, because no one knows how long you get COVID for. It's random. So, yeah, I think the Premier Leagues have done the right thing here. So we'll see how it plays out. It'll be interesting to see what happens. There might be some sort of backlash about it. I don't know, but we'll see. Next up, we have our Dream Team theme. So, for those of you that would remember, we set a Dream Team theme on Tuesday. Dream Team is the Dream Team theme this week was all-time Spanish team. Okay, so Spanish players from any era, make a Dream 11 out of them. So, as I was saying at the start, I don't think I realised the absolute mess I got myself in for you. Basically, like I said, I've started writing out teams and putting players in positions, and then I'm like, oh, but what about this player? And then what about that player? And I must have gone over this. Oh, I lost count. I lost count how many times I went over this. So, anyway, I'll get it up. Give me 2 seconds. Where did I put it? Sorry, guys, 2 seconds. Where'd you go? Ah, here it is. I think that's the right one. We'll put that. Yeah, that's the right one. It will be over the chat, so bear with me for a minute. You won't be able to see each other chatting, but I'll get rid of it shortly. Christopher, yeah, I'm actually rapt about this, to be honest, the international break. As in the players not going on the international break. You're happy about that one, Christopher? Alrighty, here's my Spanish Dream Team, all time. So hopefully you guys can see this okay. I'll run through it for you. Some of it, not much needs to be said. Iker Casillas in goal. The man speaks for himself. Absolute living legend in football in general, not just Spanish football. Jose Camacho, left back. So I don't know how many of you will remember him if you're older, or if you've seen him play, or if you've seen highlights of this game, but absolute beast of a left back. If you haven't seen Jose Camacho play football, get yourself on YouTube and look this guy up. He is a sensational fullback. Obviously, he's in my Dream 11 because I have him as the best Spanish fullback at left back of all time. Centre back, Sergio Ramos, again, living legend. What more needs to be said about Mr. Ramos? Fernando Hierro, again, maybe something that some of the younger guys watching the stream might not know much about him. Possibly the greatest sweeper that's ever lived. Full stop. Full stop. Absolute machine. Absolute machine. Again, if you don't know him, look him up. Absolutely incredible player. Right back, Carlos Puyol. This is what I mean with this Spanish team. This is what I'm saying. Like, they speak for themselves. Insane. Carlos Puyol, right back. Xavi, Iniesta, most iconic midfield duo in football ever. Probably a big statement, but their success domestically, internationally, insane. You have to have them with each other. Xavi, Iniesta, mental. Di Stefano at attacking mid. Again, another gun. Seriously good player. David Villa, left back, left back. What am I doing to myself here? I need to go to sleep. David Villa, left wing. I don't think many people would argue with having David Villa on any of those front three positions, but I'm going to put him on the left. I'm going to put Paque Gento on the right-hand side. Again, maybe one that some of you younger guys wouldn't be too familiar with. Absolute wizard of a guy. Absolute wizard of a guy. Well worth watching. Have a look at him. If you're not aware of who he is, get yourself on YouTube. And Fernando Torres, in his prime, up top, best Spanish striker ever, at his best. I personally think. I mean, it's hard to... That was probably the spot I really struggled with the most. There's some sensational players across that front three. I really struggled. I think Xavi and Iniesta, you can't replace them. Then there's some argument over who the third midfielder might be. I really struggled with that one for a while. And yeah, same with some of the defenders, some of the defensive positions. Sort of outside of Hierro and Sergio Ramos, I'm pretty confident with. I think most Spanish guys would have those two in their best ever 11. But in the full-back positions, Carlos Puyol, probably probably same again. I think most Spanish fans would have him in there. Jose Camacho, maybe some debate there, but I'm pretty confident in that one as well. So there's my Spanish dream team. If there's anyone you'd change, let me know. Talk to me. If there's anyone in there you didn't know about, let me know, because it's nice to know if I'm giving you something new. And yeah, that's my dream team. I'd love to hear some of your guys' ideas. So bounce those off us. Let us know what you think. So dream team, Spanish dream team for the week. There it is. I'll move that on. If you need to see it again, let me know, but I'll move it on just so we can see the chat. So speaking of chat, Fernando Torres at Liverpool. That's prime Fernando Torres. Prime Fernando Torres, mate. Christopher, bang on. And that's the Fernando Torres I'm talking about. You put that boy up top, he's banging in goals. You put David Villa next to him, even more so. Even more so. It's a sensational partnership there. Xavi and Iniesta behind. You know, I think it's hard to argue that most of Spain's best ever players have been playing since that sort of 2010 era. Maybe just prior to 2010, 2008 through to sort of 2017, 18, 19. That team was sensational. That Spanish team was sensational, and that there hasn't been much better around the world. They were one of the best teams ever. Christopher, yep, exactly, mate, exactly. So, yeah, so that's my Spanish team. Let me get rid of this. Yeah. Can you guys see that okay, by the way? Christopher, you seem to be the most responsive. Can you see when that came up? You can see everyone okay? It's just nice to know that everything I'm doing works, or if it doesn't, I can make a change and make it a little bit better for you guys. So that's the Spanish Dream Team. So we are going to need a new Dream Team theme for next week. If you've got any ideas around that, let me know. Richard Randall came up with a good one, flops of the week. We'll try and make that happen. It was a little bit tough because I don't feel like there's been... I don't think there's been players are bad enough to justify putting them in a flop of the week team, to be honest. So I'd like to see that happen because it'll be a laugh. Maybe that can be like an end of season thing. I don't know. We'll see. I want to see it happen because it can be a laugh. But yeah, if you've got a dream team theme you want to see, it could be anything. So week one's dream team theme was Premier League week one dream team. Obviously this one was all-time Spanish dream team. You can do like a Premier League all-time dream team, a club-specific dream team, international-specific dream team, or just an international best ever 11 of any player ever. We can do whatever. Christopher, disappointed I never got to see Xavi and Iniesta together. How old are you, Christopher? How old are you, mate, if you don't mind me asking? Christopher, yeah, I saw it good. That's good. That's perfect. That's what I like to hear. And how about Premier League all-time 11 in terms of individual seasons? Yeah, we can do that as well. We can absolutely do that as well, Christopher. If you've got a season you want to revisit, for example, I don't know, 2008, 2009, just picking one off the top of my head, we can go back to that and pick out a best 11 from the 2008, 2009 season across all the teams. Or you can do club-specific ones, so like, I don't know, United, we'll say Liverpool because you're here, so we'll say like Liverpool 2008, 2009, best 11. It's probably going to be not as exciting. Maybe like a Liverpool 2010 to 2020 best 11 maybe. Probably a bit better. Giving you a bit more choice there. But yeah, like literally dream team theme can just be whatever. It's just to have a bit of fun. And like share a bit of knowledge and stuff like that. So like I said, hopefully with that Spanish team, don't know if I want to say exactly, but early teams, that's cool, Christopher, I understand, mate. I just thought, not seeing Xavi and Iniesta, he must be fairly young. There's plenty of footage on them on YouTube, mate, and honestly, no crap, they were probably the best midfield partnership I've ever watched. I can't remember better off the top of my head. and then someone will probably point something out, and I'll shoot myself. Like I've shot myself by saying I can't remember better, but I, I think you'd be hard pressed to find football fans anywhere that wouldn't agree that Xavi and Iniesta are probably the iconic midfield duo. Absolutely incredible. And there's so much footage of them because they're so good. For Barcelona and for Spain. Mental. Absolutely mental. So being early teens, Chris, I'm guessing a couple of those players in that Spanish team you wouldn't have heard of before. Or maybe you have. I don't know. I've lost my track. What was I talking about? See, I keep telling you, I'm getting tired. I'm having a hard time keeping up. I've even got my notes here and I'm still struggling. So, yeah. So, Dream Team themes, that's what we were talking about. Dream Team themes. Throw them out. Let me know what you want to do. So, like Christopher suggested, Premier League all-time 11 in terms of individual seasons. Sure thing. Fire out a year. Let's make it happen. Whatever it might be. And same with other segments, guys. If there's something different you want to see, and I keep saying this, but this stream is powered by you guys. If there's something you want to see, or a team you want to see me cover, or a league you want to see me cover, let me know. Let me know. Jump in chat. Send me a message, whatever it might be. Let me know what you want to see in this stream, and I'll try and make it happen. So, just to recap some of the stuff we've got coming up, we do have like co-hosts lined up that are happy to come on and chat with us. Probably going to be based around league specific, because like I said, I am struggling in terms of trying to cover everything myself. It's not easy. There's a lot of football, and I'm working full time, so I've only got so much time in a day. So I've got co-hosts that are happy to come on, that are very knowledgeable about the game, and so we might have like a Premier League co-host, La Liga co-host, Bundesliga co-host. It depends on what you guys want to see as well. So we've got those guys lined up. We've got interviews lined up. I'm getting close to having that stuff working. I really want to have Twitch up and running when we have the interviews and stuff going, because it's such a good platform for streaming when it works. I don't know what the issue is with Twitch for me. I'm having headaches with that, absolute headaches. So if anyone's experienced with that stuff, let me know. I would really appreciate a hand there, but Twitch is doing my head in. But once I get Twitch working and I'm confident with it all, we've got interviews, they're ready to go. I just need to have this working right. What else do we have coming up? I've gone brain dead. I can't. Anyway, that's some of the stuff we've got coming up. Coaches chat as well. Like I said, I'm happy to do like a coaches chat thing, whether that's you asking me for specific advice around formations, tactics, whatever else, or you want me to watch a game and come up with like an analysis for that game, whatever it might be, talking to me in terms of my coaching perspective and my coaching opinion on a matter, even if it's like sort of like how I'd handle players in certain situations, anything like that. I'm happy to do that stuff as well. Maybe we can set a time and day where I jump on and we just chat coachy stuff, or player chat. I've been a player as well, so I'm happy to talk player stuff. But yeah, whatever you guys want to do, whatever you guys want to cover, yell out, let us know, and that'll be good. So again, if you're in here, you haven't said hello, talk to me, say hello, give us a like, a little thumbs up, that way, cameras are backwards. Give us a thumbs up, interact, let me know you're here so I can interact with you. Christopher, what team are you coaching at the moment? What state league are they in and how have they gone this season? Oh, good question, Chris. So at the moment, I am the technical director for Pakenham United, where Christopher's the senior coach. Peter Natsis is the senior coach. So when I say to you, I'm the guy that brought him over. I'm the technical director that got him into the club. I'm also, as well as overseeing all of the age groups, obviously, I'm also coaching Pakenham's under 16A team. and they're doing really well. They are doing really well. Given so a bit of a background on them, Christopher, for you is before I took over that team, most of that team played D grade, and they sort of finished mid-table in D grade. But I watched them play a few games. They were a very good team. I was excited by them. Some very, very good individual players. And they just needed a bit of tactical knowledge. So I've come in, asked the club to put them into the A grade. And so we did. We bumped them up to A grade. We had a few of the under-15s come up into the under-16s initially through the second under-16 team, because we have a 16A and a 16C. So the under-15s came up into the 16C initially, and then most of those under-15s worked their way into under-16A. So a lot of the under-16 team that I'm coaching are underage, or have never really played higher than like C or D grade football, and we've moved them into the A grade, and we're upper mid-table, and we were pushing for top 3, but obviously this COVID stuff has ruined it. So they've done really well. They have done really well. And that comes down to them. They're just such a hungry group. They're so eager to learn, and they really do sort of take my constructive criticisms and stuff. They take it well, and they apply it, and they've been sensational. It's been one of my favourite seasons as a coach, simply because it's good to see players able to make that big a step in that short of time, if you know what I mean. So yeah, they've done very well. I've been very, very proud of this team. Very proud. Did you play this year, Christopher? And if so, where did you play, mate? But yeah, those sort of questions. I love those sort of questions. I love talking about football, whether it's Premier League, local league, anything in between. I love that stuff. Really good question, Christopher. I enjoyed that, mate. That's good. I enjoyed that. That was good. Yeah, so that sort of stuff I love, and you can ask that anytime. We don't need a specific time for that stuff, especially now. Like I've pretty much covered the stuff I wanted to cover. I'm sitting in here to chat to you guys now. This is all about what you guys want to talk about. So yeah, keep it coming. I can see there's a couple of people in here. Only one's talking. So guys, please give us a like, say hello, let me know you're about. Even if you just drop us a like, so I know you're here and I can say hello, just because it's a nice thing to do. So like I was saying before, this is kind of the only real social outlet we've got now. So yeah, let me know you're about, say hello, and yeah. What else have we got? So for streaming, I'm going to try and get into a more regular routine rather than sporadic. So I'm thinking at the moment, Tuesdays, Thursdays are working short term, but I want to sort of build around what's going to work in the future. So I'm probably thinking maybe a Monday and Friday stream. 7 p.m. seems to be a pretty popular time. I'm not locked in on 7 p.m. We can maybe change that. We'll see how that plays out. It also depends on what happens with myself as a coach next year and what my availability is around that as well, obviously. But yeah, so I want to try and lock in a schedule so it's not as sporadic as what it is at the moment. Mainly so when we get back to some form of normality, if we get back to some form of normality, I can still maintain this stream as well. So yeah, so that's a plan for the future, to have a stream schedule. I'm also planning on getting into some games, like streaming game footage. It won't be on this. This is purely football. So I'll be starting a separate stream for gaming if any of you are interested in that sort of stuff. I don't know when that'll be yet. I want to get confident with streaming before. Pardon me. I want to get confident with streaming before I move into that side of things. So, but that's coming up. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know, and I'll make sure I'll keep you guys across what's happening there. But yeah, that's something I want to get into as well. I'm not amazing at games. I'm not a superstar. I just enjoy them. And I'll probably build that around similar to this, what the community wants to see. I'll try all different games, even if I look like a spaz. Yeah, I'm happy to give them a go. So my phone just died, but your under 16s job sounds like a fair effort. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Like I said, it's credit to the players, and you know, in my experience as a coach, it doesn't matter how much you know about football. It doesn't matter how tactically astute you are as a coach. If your players don't want to play for you, or your players don't want to apply it on the pitch, or you're not communicating it in a way that they can apply it to the pitch, it means nothing. So, as always, like a successful coach, for me, should always be putting it back onto the players. Because at the end of the day, if the players don't buy into it and do it, you're the one that comes out looking crap. It doesn't matter how good you are, how much you know, it doesn't matter. And we've seen it in the Premier League. We've seen very good coaches not getting results because the players aren't buying into what that coach wants to do. It's not because he's a bad coach. It's because the players, for whatever reason, or maybe his tactics are flawed in that scenario, whatever it might be. There's a whole bunch of various things that go on behind the scenes that can impact that. But for me, a coach's success is always creditable to his players. Always. Absolutely always. There's never an exception for that. And same goes for like losing and stuff like that. I think a good coach takes responsibility for those losses. If I make a bad decision, I'm honest with my boys. I say, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I don't try and put that onto them. I definitely don't put that pressure onto them. If I've made the wrong substitution, if I've set up the wrong game plan for the weekend, anything like that, I have to take ownership for that myself as a coach. And I think that is also very important. And I like to think, I mean, I'm sure my boys, I'd like my boys to tell me if they agree with this or not, but I'd like to think a part of the reason my teams buy into me is because I take that ownership and I give that credit. So I can be a very hard coach, and I'll be the first to admit that. I'm highly competitive. I hate losing. And I genuinely want to see players be the best they can be, and it frustrates me when I see talented players not applying themselves. I get frustrated. So I can be a very, very tough coach, and I readily admit that, but at the same time, I think my boys can tell I'm genuine. I'm invested in them, and what I'm telling them isn't to benefit me, it's to benefit them. So I think that's why this team, for example, has done so well, because they've trusted me, they've bought into what I'm doing, and they've applied it. And it's really been a fantastic season in that sense. So anyway, before your phone died, Chris, I was saying, did you play this year, and where did you play? Yes, example of that, Mourinho at United. Yeah, Mourinho is a fantastic coach. I've got a lot of respect for Mourinho, obviously, for what he's done for my club, but also in a professional aspect. I think he's a very, very, very good coach. He gets a lot of stick, especially recently, but he's a very, very good coach. He knows his stuff. Has he upset players? Yeah, 100%. I've upset players. You can't keep everybody happy. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. But at the same time, he's also got players. Mourinho's got players that will do anything for him. Absolutely anything for him. So, yeah. I'm at Heidelberg United. Oh, awesome, man. Awesome. That's cool. What position do you play? I'm only one of three boys of age, so we struggled a bit. It's going to happen, mate. It's going to happen. And, I had that struggle in pre-season and the sort of start of the season, especially, so our pre-season, for a bit of insight, I deliberately set up games against what were top teams in the A League, like A division. So teams that I knew were going to be sort of top three in the league we were about to play in. And to be honest, pantsed us. They absolutely pantsed us, but that's what I wanted them to do. I set those games up so they would pants us, so that the boys could see the level that we needed to get to, so they understood the work that we needed to do through pre-season to get competitive. And now, so as an example of that, Christopher, the first team we played in pre-season beat us 10-1. They're on top of our league, this team, okay? They beat us 10-1 the first game. They beat us 6-0, 6-0 the second game, and then 3-1 the third game. We lost all of them, but 10-0, 6-0, 3-1. Clear improvement. And yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to see from the guys. And the best thing about it is those boys can look back to preseason. We lost to this team 10-1. We're now only losing to them 3-1. So we've wound them in 7 goals. 7 goals. And they're smashing everybody. They are smashing everybody, that team. They're by far and away the best team. They compete with most NPL teams quite comfortably, beat quite a lot of NPL teams. They're a very good team. And we've managed to get them straight back in, within range. And yeah, that's the sort of thing I'm saying about the improvement these boys have made from when I took over to now. Is incredible. And like I said, that pre-season, as hard as it was for them to go out and lose 10-1 and it shot their hopes and blah, 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 I was talking to them before the game that we're playing these games so they can see the level, and I'm not expecting anything of them. I just want them to see the level, and then know what that's our target, that's our ceiling, that's what we need to get to. So it worked a treat. It worked an absolute treat. I play in the back four and can also play as a defensive mid, a lot like me, Chris. So my best position personally, I really love playing holding midfielder. I feel like that was my best position, but I quite often got put into centre back because I was quite fast, strong and aggressive and good in the air. I was very good in the air. So I quite often got put at centre back as well, because there wasn't any good centre backs around. So I was doing that as well. But it wasn't too bad. My coach, when I was playing centre back, he used to let me, if I got the ball, I could progress up the field and the defensive midfielder would have to tuck in and take my spot, because I was also good at dribbling, good at passing and all that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, very similar to me, Christopher. That's quite interesting. It's going to happen. Yeah, it's smart. That's progress. It is progress, mate. Yeah, and that's what junior football. That's what junior football has to be about. And I had to learn that as a coach. I actually started out coaching seniors. I coached seniors initially. My first ever team was actually a senior women's team, and then I went into senior men's, and then when I moved and coached in the NPL, that's when I first started coaching juniors. And I had to learn to lose, because seniors, it's all about the results. That's what you're there for as a senior coach. Juniors, it's not the case. And any coach that comes into juniors saying we have to win, we have to win, we have to win, that's not the objective. Yeah, that's not the objective. Sometimes I'll say to my boys, we have to win this game, but that's to get them riled up. That's not because the only result I'll accept is a win. For me, in junior football, it's about development. It's about teaching you guys to play the right way. It's about teaching you good habits as footballers, and it's also about teaching you to grow up and become good men as well, and giving you those life lessons as well. I think a lot of coaches forget that. We're not just there for football, we're there to develop young men as well. So, for junior football, it's got to be about progress. Christopher, we did have some progress as a team, to be honest. At the start, we were getting smacked by teams. Then the second time we played them, we were more competitive. That's it. And that's what it's all about, mate. That's what it's all about. And so long as that's the message that's being delivered by the coach, that's good. And so long as you're enjoying it, that's the other thing. You've got to, in junior football, even senior football, and this always gets forgotten in senior football, you have to enjoy the game. Players play their best football when they're having fun, when it doesn't feel like a chore. That's when they're playing their best football. So long as you're enjoying the game, so long as you're progressing, everything's good, mate. Results, they will come. They will come. 100% they will come. If you're progressing and you're enjoying it, results, they're secondary, they'll come later. What's your favourite memory as a player, Christopher? What's your favourite memory? Two seconds, just got a message. Looks like it's just me and you in here at the moment, Chris, but I'll stay on because I'm enjoying this chat. I promised myself at the start, if there's someone on here chatting, I'll stay on. So here I am. Well, a few years ago I played NPL under 12s, which was a quality experience. Oh, that's good, man. That's good. Who did you play for? Was that for Heidelberg as well? Did you play NPL at Heidelberg? Brunswick, decent club, mate. Decent club. Brunswick City, yeah, decent club, mate. Decent club. So I'm guessing. Actually, that makes sense because I think you said your dad or something worked with Peter at Northern Falcons. So I'm guessing it makes sense you're over that side of the world. Yeah, that's cool, man. So, and are you gonna stay on at Heidelberg United next year? We've had someone else join the chat. Give us a like, say hello, join in. Even if it's not football, it's just nice to know who's about, who's in here, and have a chat. This is our social outlet, and yeah, it's just nice to catch up with people. So we've pretty much covered the main part of the show. I'm literally just here chatting away to you guys now. If there's anything you want to see or hear or whatever from the show or anything else, let me know. Happy to recap stuff. But yeah, main thing, just give us a like, have a chat. Yeah, it's just nice to know who's here. So. To be honest, probably not. I'm going to trial at a few clubs such as Moreland Zebras, Port Melbourne, etc. Good luck to you, mate. Good luck to you. I actually personally have a very, very positive experience with Port Melbourne. I've never coached there or played there, but I've coached against Port Melbourne, and every time I've coached against them, they've been fantastic. We had ripping games, so I was coaching at Dandenong City at the time in the NPL, and we played against Port Melbourne quite regularly, and always cracking games, always like 4-3. But win, lose or draw, they were always very humble, very nice, shake hands, no dramas. So from my experience, Port Melbourne seemed like a real nice club. I've got nothing but nice things to say about them because I've only ever experienced good things from them. So from what I know, great club. One of my old strikers at Dandy City, he actually came to me from Moreland Zebras. I can ask him what he thinks of Moreland and let you know what they think if you're interested in that. But yeah, from personal experience, mate, Port Melbourne look like a really good club. They really do. Okay, thanks. No worries, man. No worries. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to chat to you guys, and if I can help in any way, I'm more than happy to. So, but yeah, best of luck with your trials, mate. That's really good that you're setting yourself those aspirations and goals, and that's fantastic. I mean, the good thing about trials, even if you don't get picked by the team you maybe want to get picked for, you're gaining more experience, and that's again for juniors very, very important. Um, Christopher, where did you play as a junior? I played back home in England, Christopher, when I was a junior. So I played mostly for schools. So I played for the boarding school I went to. I went to a boarding school back in England. Unfortunately, it was a good school for education, but I didn't enjoy it at all. I was there for 2 years, but I played football for them. Um, and I played football for my junior schools as well back home. So all my junior football was played back home. I was actually, believe it or not, I was a better rugby player than I was a football player. I was a very good rugby player, but I preferred playing football. I enjoyed playing football. And so when I come to Australia, I focused mainly because the rugby in Australia is terrible, especially in Victoria. So I focused purely on football, and so that's when I really started playing football quite a lot, and focusing on football a lot more. Oh, okay, I've also played for Green Gully, but didn't really get to play for them as it was in 2020. Yeah, COVID's really kicked the football seasons around, hasn't it, mate? Yeah, 2020 was that? Trying to think if so. One of my mates played for Green Gully Seniors. Nah, I wouldn't. I don't think it was 2020. I think it was before that actually. No, it was definitely before that because after that he went to Dandy Thunder and now he's back at Bentley Greens. So, um, yeah, no, it was definitely before that because I was still at Dandy City coaching when that was the case. So, but yeah, I had a friend of mine play for Green Gully's senior team. Alrighty, hour and a half. Alrighty, Christopher, my guy. I might call it a night. I am wrecked. I need to go have a shower, get some sleep so I can get up for work in the morning. It's been a really good chat, mate. I really appreciate you being in here. If you want to keep chatting, just shoot me a message, comment on the YouTube video. I'm pretty sure I'll get alerts for comments, and I'll reply through there. Um, or you can follow Football Forum on Facebook. So you don't have to add me. Obviously, with your age and stuff, that might be a bit weird. I understand. So you can follow the page and message the page, and I can reply to that. Whatever you like. If you want to keep chatting, if not, we can catch up next time. But yeah, I'm gonna hit the hay. I'm a bit done. But I've really enjoyed the chat, mate. Thank you very much. And I'm sure we'll have plenty of chances to talk football over the next few weeks. You seem to be one of the regular guys in here, so yeah, I look forward to catching you next time, mate. All right, have a good weekend if we don't chat beforehand. And yeah, like any questions or anything like that, never be afraid to reach out. Always happy to help, especially young up and coming players. More than happy to give you some advice or whatever it is, or just have you bounce ideas off me, whatever you like, mate. I'm more than happy to chip in and help you out there. So for my close off, guys, for those of you that watch this now live or later, it's a tough time for everyone with lockdowns, COVID, all that sort of stuff. If you're struggling, please reach out, get some help. Don't try and take it on yourself. You can reach out to myself, family, friends, whatever it might be, professionals. Coming from my own experience, I took it on the chin a lot with that sort of typical I'm a man mentality. I've just got to take it and get on with it. And eventually it breaks you down. Just get the help. Reach out to your friends, family, whatever it might be. You're not alone, all right? You're not alone. You might feel like you are at times, but we're in this together. So if you feel like you've got no one else to talk to, I'm here. Please reach out. And yeah, let's help each other out, guys. Stick by each other. Christopher, yep, you never walk alone. I'm not a fan of Liverpool, but it's probably a very apt time for that one, Christopher. You'll never walk alone, 100%. So if you are struggling, please reach out. Yeah, we're here for you. Thank you, guys. Until next time, catch you on Football Forum. See you.